So the jump from Jackson State to Colorado, why Colorado? What was it about the program that made them think, maybe we should take a chance on this guy versus some of the, I don't think they really use the word blue blood in college football, but some of the more traditional powers.
For sure. Well, I mean, why, number one, it's like you won one game last season. Why not take a chance?
Sure. Yeah.
Like, what do you have to lose? I mean, I've been kind of joking, thinking about going into this. Like, he's already tripled the win record for last season. So, like, we think at 3-1 now. So I don't really think of it as something that was like a huge risk on Colorado's part. And not truly a risk on Deion's part either, in the sense that it's a program that he can truly say he's building up, right? Let's say it had been a situation where, hypothetically, if Nick Saban had retired and Deion went to Alabama, could you imagine going into a program that has such a storied history, is to use that sort of blue blood language of college football, the expectations would be unbearable. I have no doubt that Deion's someone who could live up to any amount of expectations and pressure, but at the same time, it's not the same situation as him walking into Colorado and really transforming the atmosphere in Boulder and transforming the expectations, for sure. I just was on an online store trying to buy some Colorado gear, and they were going to ship that hoodie in November. Right, so I don't think that was the case last season. I think it would have been next day delivery last season. But thinking about if it was even available online,
yeah, they would have paid you to come get some gear.
To come get some Buffs gear, So it's a really transformative situation. It's a great, not even risk. It's just a great investment in each other. I think they're at this juncture, at least, perfect partners in terms of a program that desperately needs to be turned around in a time when the Pac-12 is very uncertain how many more teams are going to leave for other conferences. There's no real reason to say we shouldn't do this on either side, except for the fact, honestly, of Deion getting the heat that he did for leaving Jackson State in the first place. I don't see what sort of loss Colorado's taken in this.
Yeah, it's definitely a mutually beneficial relationship. I mean, I think so far it's only been a few weeks or 4 weeks through the season. By the time this is published, it'll be 5 weeks they'll have played USC.
That's right.
So it definitely is mutually beneficial. Like you said, they did win one game last year. It's a program that, despite winning a national championship at some point in its history, has become an afterthought since joining the Pac-12. They're one of the basement dwellers. They're just kind of there doing their thing. And he's I think it's already a success. We can talk a little bit more about what true success will be for Deion during his tenure here. But I think that the turnaround that he's already started is already a success in terms of the cultural cachet of the program. Like you said, you can't buy Buffs gear because it's back ordered, which I'm sure has probably never happened in the history of their program.
Ever.
So what were the steps? How did he turn this program around so quickly? I think we can talk a little bit more about the perfect storm that happened with NIL and the transfer portal and all that.
Right.
But how did he turn this team around so quickly? And the two-part question, what do you make of the criticism that he's received for the way he treated the former players?
Yeah, I watched that video when he walked into the locker room after that one-win season and just told them straight up, some of y'all ain't gonna be here. Like I'm coming, and the luggage is Louis and all of that, right? So I think I would much rather that than the snake oil salesman approach of smiling in everyone's face, saying that we're all family, and then you find out you got cut. And then you find out you need to hit that transfer portal. I think the reality now, and it's true of anything in sports, right? Like, if Steph Curry was playing in the '60s, it would be a very different style of play he would have, right? Just the 3-pointer didn't exist. So I think we always have to just judge things by the errors. So Deion is in the time where the transfer portal exists. He is in the time where NIL deals are making 19-year-olds millionaires, right? Like just loaded. So I think all of that, he just understands how to use it to his advantage, right? So it's really something where you can't be too upset about him telling the kids to go, because now they had a chance to say, like, let me go and get a jump on this. I can look at what school would need me. If I'm an offensive lineman, I can look and see where can I go and flourish, rather than finding out so late that the options aren't even there for me. So I think he did right, as harsh as it may be, and as harsh as people may think the style of the message was. He did right by those kids and telling them, you're not going to be here next season. I'm bringing my folks in because I need to change the culture. Like, this isn't a Disney film where he can just, this isn't Remember the Titans, where he's just going to somehow take all these kids and magically make them into a bowl-worthy team. That's not going to happen. You have to bring in the best and those who are capable of doing it. Obviously, even in the success, I agree with you, the success he's had so far, you're seeing that there's still a lot of work to be done. That line has to get better on both sides of the ball. He's still going to need to bring in the caliber of players that he's going to need if this is going to lead to a bowl game or a playoff appearance or anything of that nature, which we all kind of have that sort of romantic view of this all ends with them winning everything. Maybe that won't happen, but it can't happen in year one, certainly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I think we talked about it already, was the honesty of Deion Sanders. I did feel like it was a little bit harsh on the kids because, again, they are kids.
Right.
Even if they're getting paid, they're still, 18, 19, 20 years old.
Right.
And, but again, at the same time, this is a harsh world. This is the football world, the sports world is especially harsh. They're going to find out real quick, and they found out real quick that, they maybe weren't good enough for the vision that he had of this Colorado team.
Right.
So I do agree maybe his messaging could have been a little bit better, but the underlying idea of, I'm going to be real with you, I'm going to tell you exactly what I think of you, I'm not going to, again, like you said, be that snake oil salesman that's just trying to keep you around or sell you, a false bill of goods or something like that. I'm going to tell you exactly what's on my mind, exactly what I think of you. And maybe he gave some of these kids a chance to impress him, maybe not. Maybe he made his decision coming in. But again, the results were on the field. They were 1-10 or whatever it is. So clearly they weren't good enough for his vision of the program.